Hello team, welcome back, and today we will see a demo on service account. And for this we will switch to Google Cloud Console. So team, we are on Google Cloud Console, and very first we will create a new project to understand the service account role in fresh project. We will open the new project and we are going to name it Level Up 360-IAM. You are getting the same name in the project ID. We don't have any organization. Let's click on create project. This section will take few seconds and soon it's completed. We are getting that we can choose the project. So we will go to the project which we just created, which is Level Up 36 IAM. In this project, this is my project number, which is 24566. This is my project ID and this is my project name. We will open the Cloud IAM and admin page, and you can see only one account is available over here, which is an admin account for this Google Cloud account. We don't have any other accounts available for this project. Now what you will do, let's open the Cloud Console in a new tab and go to the Compute Engine. So we will go to the Compute Engine. Once we will go to the Compute Engine page, we will see that by default the Compute Engine API is not enabled. If you are getting this kind of error, then you have to wait, because over here if you will go to this bell icon, you can see it is saying initializing Compute Engine for project Level Up 360. It means the project is not initialized, so that we are getting this error. Let's click on retry and go to the Compute Engine again, and soon you will get this particular page. So what happened over here? Whenever you are getting the error page, it means the Compute Engine API was not enabled on your project, and Google was enabling that particular API in the background. If you want to check, you can check for Compute Engine API. Here you are getting the Compute Engine API. Let's click it, and you can see this API is enabled. Now if we will go back to the IAM again and we will refresh my web page, then you will see a new service account will be created for your Compute Engine API. And yes, see, this is your project number, then you are getting -compute at the rate developer.gserviceaccount.com. This is a service account which is created for the Compute Engine once the Compute Engine API is enabled. The default name of this service account is Compute Engine Default Service Account, which have the editor role. One more service account is got created, which is default for the Google Cloud, and that is the Google's API Service Agent service account. So what we will do, we will go to the Compute Engine again and we will create a Compute Engine instance. So to create instance, you need to click create instance, and over here we will not touch anything, but we will reduce the machine size from E2 medium to E2 micro. I have increased the font size of this browser. So you are getting an option identity and API access. Over here you can see we are getting service account, and this is a drop down. In this service account we are getting the default service account which is being created by the Google for the Compute Engine. And we are also getting something which is called access scope. Access scope means this Compute Engine machine will have the scope, the default scope of the service account, which is a allow default access. You may also provide the allow full access to all cloud API, but that is not recommended. And you may choose the access as per your own choice. So if you will select these options, set access for each API, you can see you are getting the default level of each API, which is for the BigQuery, big table, big data, right? Let's scroll down. We are getting right only permission in the stack driver logging, stack driver monitoring, and stack driver trace. That's all other permission either none or the read only. Even you can check the storage permission itself is a read only permission. We are not going to change anything over here, and let's create the instance. Instance creation will take some time. Let's open the cloud management in a new tab, and we will open the storage. So in the navigation menu, you need to find the cloud storage and open the cloud storage. What we will do over here, we will create a bucket. So we will click on create bucket. You need to provide some global name. So I'm providing the level up 360 IAM. This is going to my bucket name. Click on continue. That is going to be multi-region. Click continue. Standard storage type. Click continue. We want uniform access. Click continue. And we want Google managed encryption. Click on create. This will create the bucket in your project. Level up 360 IAM. Let's upload few files in this bucket. So I will click on upload, and I will upload few files from my local system. So I am uploading few image over here. Let's wait. And I have uploaded 5 items in my bucket. Go back to the VM instance. So you can see my instance is ready. The instance name is instance 1. We will click on SSH and click on open in browser window. We are getting some Firefox preventing some site of opening to pop up. We will allow this pop up, and you can see it is asking for the confirmation. So over here we are creating the SSH connection with my instance 1. Let's wait and I will show you that this SSH connection is not being created by your account which you have logged in, although it will create by a service account by which the instance is created. So it will connect your machine shortly. Let's wait for a few minutes. Let's increase the font size of this window. And you can see over here, although we are getting my admin account, right? Because I have logged in with my admin account. But if you will execute a command gcloud config list, it will list out the configuration, and you can see this is the project and this is the account which is basically created the SSH connection with this machine. And this is not my admin account. This is a service account which is created for the compute instance. So as I told you in the earlier lecture that each Google service will communicate to other Google service via service account. Over here we are creating the SSH connection with my Google machine, and we are creating that SSH connection by Google service. These are the Google service options, right? This is not a normal TCP connection on port 22. No. This is a Google functionality which is opening the SSH connection in a browser, so that this SSH service used this default account to connect with my instance. Now let's check if my instance is able to communicate with my Google bucket. For this we will execute few commands like gsutil. To list out the files we will type ls, copy my bucket name, put gs colon double slash and my bucket name. Hit enter, and yes, we are able to read the data. That is the same permission we have provided while we was creating this machine on the default service account. Now let's check if we are able to put some data in this bucket or not. So let's create some data like touch test1.txt, put ls. This file is created, and now let's try to upload this file in a bucket. So gsutil cp, define the file name which you created and define the bucket name where you want to upload this file. Hit enter and you will get the error 403. See, we are not authorized to upload the content on this bucket. Why? Because whenever we are creating the instance, we have choose the API scope read only, right? Although we are using the default editor account, you can see this is the editor role, but we choose the scope default only so that we are not able to upload the content on the bucket. Let's close your SSH connection and open your machine and terminate this machine. So we will click delete and delete. Now let's do one thing. Let's create one more instance. So I will create one more instance, instance 2. I will keep the things as it is, just change the machine type. Over here it is still using the default account, and in the set access for each API we will move to the storage and provide the permission of read write. Click on create. Now instance 2 will be created. Let's wait until the instance will be ready. Instance is ready. Let's create the SSH connection with this instance. Allow connection. I will increase the font, and let's check again if this instance is also using the same service account. So gcloud config list, and yes, it is also using the same service account. Let's list out your Google bucket. So gsutil, and we will copy the bucket name. So what is my bucket name? My bucket name is level up 360-IAM. I will copy this bucket name from here, paste it here, hit enter, and see we have the read access. Like the similar way, we will create a file touch test2.txt. ls file is here. Now we will try to copy this file on my bucket. So gsutil cp, define the file name and define your bucket name where you want to copy this particular file. Hit enter, and this time you should be able to upload the file. See, if you will refresh your bucket from here, you will see that test2.txt is uploaded. So team, this is the way, and this is a very important difference, that with the same service account, and if the service account is a default service account, then you will get the scope, and using that scope you can open the scope of that particular instance machine over the different Google Cloud services, right, which we just seen. Let's terminate this machine as well and go to the cloud IAM. Over here, let's go to the service accounts, and we will create one more service account over here. This time we are going to create the custom service account. So we will click on create service account, provide the service account name. Suppose we are providing level up hyphen compute engine admin, right? You can see it is auto appending the email address with this particular service account. It is always good to provide the service account description, which will explain the purpose of this service account. So we mentioned this is a compute engine admin service account. I will click create and continue. Now we are getting an option that we need to select the role to this particular service account. Let's click on role, and we will go to the compute engine. So here is the compute engine, and here we have the compute engine roles. So suppose we are going to select the compute engine instance admin, which have the full control of compute engine instances, instance group, disk, snapshot, and image. You can see we are getting the hint as well, right? Let's select this. If you want, you can select the multiple roles over here. If you want, you can add the condition as well. Let's click on continue. So this is going to be the role. Now we are getting that grant user access to this service account. We don't want to provide user access to this service account. Let's click on done. You can see the new service account is basically created, and this is the name of my service account, level up compute engine admin, and this is the description of this service account. Now we will go to the VM instances again and create one more instance. Over here, let's go to the IAM, and you can see the default service account is a default account which was created by the Google. But this time, if we will open this drop down, we are getting the another service account as well, which we just created, because we created this service account for the compute engine role, so that this service account is default listed over here. Let's select your custom service account, and you can see the scope is basically removed. As soon as you select the default, you are getting the scope. As soon as you select the custom, you are not getting the scope. So this is an important point to note, that you will not get the scope with the custom service account, and you will only get the scope of the different APIs with the default service account. For your cloud certification architect exam, this is a important question. So team, that's all about the service account. You have seen the uses of the service account and the difference of the service account, that how the service account are automatically created whenever you enable the APIs, and how you can create the service account. Thank you team. See you next time.